Of course, when you start, every big journey starts with a single step, right? So
Yes.
when I started off, when I joined CA, and of course, first thing was to get into Tabani's, because Tabani is one of the top institutes for starting your career as chartered accountant. So the journey just started, right? So
Alright.
and then after that was the plan was to get into the big four.
What advice do you have for such students who are just aiming for the big three firms, who are not thinking about industries, who are not going for any other option other than the big three? This is what it has, stick in their mind.
I would say, of course, we should try for Big Four and Big Three, as you said. But at the same time, we should look at the clientele and the exposure that you're getting in other I mean, I'm sure other firms are also good enough. So it's a bit of a balance. I mean,
Yes.
if you are good, you will stand out. One of my mentors explained to me that when you are in a very big swimming pool or a big river, you don't get to be noticed. But when you're in a small pond, you get to be noticed, because then you stand out. So you have more opportunities to stand out. The competition might be less. If you are good, then you might be able to grow even further. So I think there is no harm. Journey has to start. You can't delay it. That's how I look at it.
So, what is that one thing that really kept you going with Reckitt all those years, and what has held you for 18 years with them?
I think that's a question that a lot of people ask me, right? Because generally people try to hop in 2 to 3 years, get an experience. But what Reckitt had offered me was multiple roles. So within this 18 years, I was just counting, I've done almost 12 roles, 13 roles. So if you look at from an average perspective, each role was probably less than 2 years. So that has also been one of the reasons that within the same environment I've been able to interact in multiple countries. So if your job becomes stagnant, that it doesn't offer you something new every year, then you think about moving out. But
When it gets really monotonous,
Yes.
the role gets really
The
monotonous.
role gets really monotonous. So I was quite lucky to have that different experiences within the same organization and then different markets. So yeah, it has been a long journey, but a very good journey.
Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Mentoring Young Leaders. This is your host, Alishba Adnan, and joining us today is a finance leader. Ladies and gentlemen, he was amongst the pioneering batch of TSA. He is acting as a finance director in Reckitt, UAE, Dubai. Ladies and gentlemen, he has graced our podcast with his presence. So without any further ado, let's just welcome the guest of today, Mr. Sameer Suleman. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you?
Walaikum salam. I'm good. How are you?
I'm truly obliged for you to grace our podcast with your presence, as I said earlier on as well. Thank you so much for taking our time. And how does it feel coming back to TSA after so long?
It's a lot of nostalgia. I think this is now 23 years when we. But this was a very newly built campus when we moved here. So I think when I entered the campus, it was like all those memories coming back to me when we just probably had started our career. I mean, in terms of, see, there was a previous building back in Tabani's, and then it was newly built. So I think a lot of nostalgia, which is while entering this building, yeah.
All right, sir. Good to have you back. Sir, let's just talk about your earlier life, right? Where did you hear about chartered accountancy? How did you start your journey? Was it something that inspired you, or was it somebody in your family? Just talk about that.
Yeah, so I think the journey started when I was doing my O levels, and back then someone in my family was doing one of my cousins was doing chartered accountancy, and he was back then. CA was always a someone who planned to do CA was always looked at. Are you really serious? You want to do CA? So in our family also, it wasn't that I wanted to do CA from the start. But one of my cousins who was interested in doing CA, and he had done his professional papers examinations. He was traveling, and he passed away in one of the trips to Swat.
Okay.
And he was the only child of my paternal aunt. So I think from there I thought that I should take that path that he had selected. So that's why I chose, and it was not planned कि CA जो है मैं अभी start करूँ या किस तरह से, लेकिन जो वो incident हुआ तो that left and I chose my O levels. I did my commerce in commerce. Then A levels also I did, and I had this planned from grade 9
All
that
right.
I would be doing CA, despite all the odds that pass rate कम है, बच्चे ज़्यादा वो बाकी लोग जो MBA कर रहे होते हैं उनका different mindset होता है. But this was back then in I think grade 9 में मैं जब था तब मैंने ये decide किया कि मैंने CA करना है.
So it's good that you remain steadfast throughout your journey, and you started your journey in Karachi, and now you're in Reckitt in UAE, and what we call the MENAP in you're having a leading finance duties over there as well. So how did that journey feel? Working there, now you see yourself as a finance director, but initially you were a student, of course. You were in Karachi, you were doing your articleship in Karachi. So how does this journey feel like?
I think it has been when you start, every big journey starts with a single step, right? So
Yes.
when I started off, initially there was always this discussion that when I joined CA, and of course first thing was to get into Tabani's, because Tabani is one of the top institutes for starting your career as chartered accountant. So first in our times there was this PPT, pre-entry proficiency test,
All
right? So first thing was to clear that.
All right.
Then once I cleared that, then I entered Tabani's, and then I passed my all my modules one by one. So the journey just started, right? So
All right.
and then after that was the plan was to get into the Big Four. That also there was a lot of discussions that you might not get there. You might. So there was always this negativity which was always floating around. But you have to sort of push yourself to say that, okay, fine, let me give it a try, and things started to flow. So then I got into Ferguson. That was, I think 2003 once I completed. After that, once you are in the firm, you get to go to different clients, right?
Yes.
They're also observing you that what sort of professional, what sort of profession you are doing, what sort of work you are doing in the so that also helped. After that, I go, one of my colleagues was in Reckitt back
All
then,
right.
and when I qualified, which was in 2007, the results were just announced, and someone from Reckitt who had worked with me in the past
All right.
called me up that we have a vacancy.
All right.
And I said I am still doing my articles, but it all worked out. They said once your articles are over, you can join us. So I had a job before my articles
Oh, wow.
could end. So as soon as my articles ended, I joined Reckitt back in 2008.
All
So it has been now 18 years.
Okay.
Now you ask me how did the journey from Pakistan to UAE. So of course the idea of entering that multinational was that it would give me global exposure. So I started off in Pakistan. In Pakistan, I did multiple roles. I had 4 roles in Pakistan. So I was in Pakistan business for 7 years.
Okay.
And then after that, I moved from Pakistan to UAE as a regional controller.
Okay.
And then in that, of course, that once you move out of Pakistan, you are out of your comfort zone, right? Because when you're in Pakistan, you have similar people around you, similar language, similar, culturally it's very similar. But when you go to UAE, of course, you interact with a lot of multi nationals in terms of other cultures, other religions, which also is a very good exposure. So you get comfortable in that environment. So I did that role for 2 years.
All right.
And then I got an opportunity to work in other countries as well for short stints. I had gone to Turkey, worked there for almost 2 to 3 months there.
All right.
Then I got a assignment in South Africa.
Oh.
So I went to South Africa, worked there for 2 to 3 months while I was based in Dubai.
Okay.
So I used to travel. Then after 2 to 3 years, there was some restructuring, and then I took a regional supply role, which was looking after all the factories in this region. And then within that stint, there was a role as a finance director for Indonesia.
Or
That was my first finance director role.
oh,
So I, again, based out of Dubai, I used to travel between Jakarta and Dubai. So
okay.
again, as I mentioned, the profession gives you a lot of exposure, right?
Yes,
So,
sure does.
because of that confidence, and you have gone through the grind when you are in the firm, so it becomes very easy when you go into this professional life. So I did that finance director role in Indonesia, came back to Dubai, then I became a finance director for developing markets.
All right.
That role I did for 3 years,
Okay.
and then they asked me to do a short stint as in Egypt. So I became the finance director for Egypt for almost 6-7 months.
Okay.
I used to travel between Dubai and Cairo. This was as recent as last year.
Okay.
Between Cairo and Dubai every week. So
Okay.
that was a bit of a strenuous assignment, but a lot to learn in that assignment as well. And after that, I became recently a regional finance director controlling for MENARP, which is Middle East, North Africa, Russia, and Pakistan.
Yes.
So that is my journey of 18 years in Reckitt. A lot of learning, a lot of countries that I have seen, a lot of cultures that I have interacted with. So that has really helped. And I think, again, as I say, all credit goes to this profession as well, because with that profession, you have that, all the tools to interact, to trade, to get that confidence. So yeah, that's the journey.
You have a very inspiring story, I must say. And, Reckitt being the key word here, what actually, as you said, that you've been working in Reckitt for the past 18 years and ever since you completed your articleship. So, what is that one thing that really kept you going with Reckitt all those years, and what has held you for 18 years with them?
I think that's a question that a lot of people ask me, right? Because generally people try to hop in 2 to 3 years, get an experience. But what Reckitt had offered me was multiple roles. So within this 18 years, I was just counting, I've done almost 12 roles, 13 roles. So if you look at it from an average perspective, each role was probably less than 2 years. So that has also been one of the reasons that within the same environment, I've been able to interact in multiple countries. So if your job becomes stagnant, that it doesn't offer you something new every year, then you think about moving out. But
When
Reckitt,
it gets really monotonous,
Yes.
the role gets really monotonous.
the role gets really monotonous. So I was quite lucky to have that, different experiences within the same organization, and then different markets. So Indonesia was very different from Egypt. Egypt was very different from South Africa. South Africa was very different from Turkey. So all these markets had different people, different leaders who inspired me as well. So yeah, it has been a long journey, but a very good journey.
All right, as we, again, very inspiring. As we discussed about you being an associate with Ferguson's as well, you completed your articles from there. 4 years you did articleship in Ferguson's. Nowadays, the culture is getting as such that since the market is very saturated, the young CAs who have just done their CAF level, they seek articleship in Big Fours. And when that happens, any other opportunity that they get, they tend to not look at it that much because they're aiming for Big Four firms, rather Big Three firms now at the moment, if we talk about that. So what advice do you have for such students who are just aiming for the Big Three firms, who are not thinking about industries, who are not going for any other option other than the Big Three? This is what it has stick in their mind.
See, I think first of all, it is. I do agree that if we are able to get into Big Three, it helps a lot because the clientele matters, right? The clientele that they're dealing with, and that clientele then gives you opportunity to work in one of those companies as well, as what happened for me. But at the same time, now my understanding is that the volume of students are quite significant versus what we had in the past, right? So it's also important that time is precious, right? If we continue to wait and then waste that precious because you are once you qualify, you are normally in your mid-20s or early 20s, depending on how the journey has been. I would say, of course, we should try for Big Four and Big Three, as you said, But at the same time, we should look at the clientele and the exposure that you're getting in other I mean, I'm sure other firms are also good enough, depending on which firm is. So it's a bit of a balance. If you think that you are able to get into big three, fine. If you are not able to get into big three, you will make your journey anyway. I mean, if you are good, you will stand out. Even in those other firms, they will rate you, if you are good. One of my mentors explained to me that, when you are in a very big swimming pool or a big river, you don't get to be noticed, but when you're in a small pond, you get to be noticed, because then you stand out. So you have more opportunities to stand out. The competition might be less. If you are good, then you might be able to grow even further. So I think there is no harm. The journey has to start. You can't delay it. So that's how I look at it.
All right. And like you said, that if it's not a big three firms, then, the hierarchy is also really niche. I would say that, normally in the big three firms, you have the partner, and then, a lot of things come in between. But, if you're not in the big three firms, you can actually interact with the partner, you can interact with the people on the board of directors as well. So, you have that connection as well.
Yes. I think, as I said, the CA as a profession gives you that confidence very early in the, you're very young, entering into this trainee in a firm. You get to interact with a lot of senior people at a very early age. That kind of exposure, I don't think any other profession gives, right?
Yes.
And then, as you mentioned, that if you go into a firm which is probably not big three, but it would value you more, right? Because you come from a strong background, you have the urge to do good, and you have the confidence. So I think you're right, that would help anyways, giving exposure to people.
All right. So if we talk about your journey as well, at some point you moved from audit to industry. Why did that happen?
I think 4 years of audit are quite. I mean, first of all, I when I started my journey in Ferguson, I quite enjoyed my 4 years there, right? Because the bond you make there, the experience you get there, because you are also young, you want to do good. But after that, I also wanted to see the other side of the table.
Right.
And when I used to audit clients, I mean, I was in Group B, and there was a lot of FMCG clients there, and now I am also working for an FMCG. So I always was sort of interested to see what the other side looks like.
All right.
And once you get into that, then you get sucked into the system. So it was just that I was very intuitive about how would it look, and then that's how it started. So
All right. So again, that is also a really good transition. Everyone has it different, but it's good that you had a flavor of audit, and then you came towards, as you said, you had to look at the other side of the table.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good transition, I must say, and it is serving you good. So I think that's the best decision.
Everyone has. I mean, some people are more interested in audit. They want to do audits. I was also interested, but I wanted, as I said, that the other side of the world is also exciting. So I said, let's look at the other side. And once you enter that side, it has other things to offer. I mean, the exposure, looking at different markets and all that. So that excited me more. That's why.
All right. So looking back, was there any moment that you think that it changed the trajectory of your life, or something that happened which actually changed the way of your thinking?
In terms of what? In terms of my career, or
In terms of your career, yes.
See, I think when I started off my journey in Reckitt, initially you get employed into a section which is more relevant to the field. For example, when I started my journey in Reckitt, I was looking after treasury, internal audits, external audits. Of course, your bread and butter is the IFRS taxation, because that's what you would have learned and applying. But then when you move to other functions, right, there is a commercial acumen, there is also supply. So that part also trains you in terms of what other thought processes comes into play. So I think my the peak or the point where I felt that a lot is being offered is the exposure around markets, right? Entering different markets, learning from people, learning from very different. I had very different bosses. My first boss was of course in Pakistan. I was a Pakistani. Then I moved to Middle East. Was an Indian.
Alright.
And I mean, I also understood from their way of thinking, their backgrounds. Of course, they have traveled the world, so they share their experiences from other companies as well. So I think when you grow in an organization and meet people from different companies, different nationalities, so you learn a lot from them.
Sure.
And everyone has something to offer, right?
Yes.
So I think that part or that journey I really appreciate. In the multinational exposure, I think is key, is very helpful to grow. So that has really helped me in my career.
All right, good for you, and very, as I said, interesting. So, do you think that any leadership roles that you see in young professionals today, that you think that all right, this is nice, but the leadership roles or leadership skills, they are a bit lagging, or they don't really have that. So, do you think that the professionals today who are passing out, the young CA professionals, or even any other profession that come to you, what is the one thing which is missing in those professionals that you think should be practiced here so that later it could help them?
I think I see. I think as a leader is a true leader has a lot of ingredients. One of them is empathy, right? When you go through that grill, I mean, it's always there when we entered the firms. We heard stories that there is a lot of grilling, there's a lot of that. So when you go through that, there are two ways to sort of react to it. One is you do the same,
Alright.
or you say this is probably not the best and I would do it differently. I think the empathy part is very important for leaders
Yes.
who understand that how can we make people who are reporting to us more to have trust in us.
Alright.
So I believe that a true leader needs to have empathy. There is a need to have good communication skills.
Alright.
And lead from the front, right? At times where people who are reporting into you need that kind of confidence and protection, right? I see at times people try pass on the buck. They try and put other people into the spot. So true leaders need to give that comfort to their teams, and also take risks. At times you need to be calculated risks, but in order to grow you need to take risks. So I think leader, as I said, is these ingredients: communication, empathy, and taking risks.
All right. So again, a very detailed answer to that to my question. All right. So if we talk about the things which are going on in the world today, the hot topic is AI, and how the young professionals and especially the chartered accountancy students are getting really agitated, or you could say they're getting really concerned that if AI is here to replace them. This is like a hot topic we usually do a lot of studies about. So what is your take on this? Is AI able to take over humans?
No, see, I think we are far from. Of course, there are some jobs which will be affected, right? Let's face that, right? The back office operational tasks which are being automated, and this is not an AI thing. It has been there in the system for quite some time. A lot of companies are now moving to that, where they want to automate the operational tasks, right? The payments, the receivables, and that area which can be automated, operational. But when it comes to decision making, when it comes to understanding, even the use of technology. I mean, if someone is flying a plane, the plane is taking you from one place to another place, but you need a pilot to sort of fly that plane. Similarly, you need chartered accountants to even understand what to interpret from that AI, because AI is of course adaptive, right? It's learning. So it won't replace chartered accountants. It will just probably change the ways of working, right?
Alright.
A lot of information which probably used to take a lot of time to interact, it will save time. It will help, but it won't completely. You would not have partners, AI becoming a partner in signing your financials, right? You will still need a partner to sign the financials. You will still within the organization, you will still need people to interpret what AI means, because AI would give you a suggested outlook to a particular, but that's not always correct, right? Because that's also learning. So I don't think AI is going to replace, or it would make it more efficient. That's how I look at it.
So basically, it would aid in the entire process rather than replacing
Yeah.
the chartered accountants, and
course,
you know,
of
it
course.
would serve as a tool,
It can serve as a tool.
helping tool.
It can, I mean, when the laptops came in, typewriters went out, right?
Yes.
It's just how things have started to
Evolve basically. Yes. So talking about AI, we can also talk about the extracurricular activities that need to be offered to the chartered accountancy student. And like you said, you know, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of there's a very hectic schedule that a student has to go through. Of course, you went through that as well. How did Tabani School of Accountancy play a role in your life when it came to the extracurriculars?
Yeah, initially, so when I did my A levels, I was at the Lyceum, and there was a lot of focus on extracurricular activities back then. So when I moved to Tabani's, I initially thought, now I'm going into this grind, and I'm going to be studying all the time. And but to my surprise, Tabani Saab was very keen on extracurricular activities, and he said that, you know, to be a well-rounded professional, you need to have that element as well. So we had a lot of extracurricular activities in Tabani's as well. I remember we had this annual certificate distribution ceremony, and there was this play that he asked me that, you know, because I told him that I was into plays when I was at the Lyceum. So he said that, you know, you should do this. So I remember those. I mean, we rehearsed in the same building, and I still remember those days when we were practicing and then did that play here. So I think for any professional, you cannot be working all the time. You cannot be studying all the time. You need that outlet, right? Whether it's sports, whether it's arts, something or the other. You need to do that, because ultimately you would need that balance. So Tabani gives that opportunity as well. So which I'm very thankful to Tabani's for that.
So we talked about you being a student and then having the extracurricular activities provided to you. How do you come out of that? You can say, how do you? What is your stress buster at the moment? Like, you know, during such difficult hours of your day, when you come home, or even if you're working, what is like the one thing which you're like, all right, let's do this, so I could.
So stress busters evolve as we grow, right? When I was young, my stress buster was normally playing squash with my friends.
Okay.
I used to play that a lot, and then or badminton. These were two sports I used to play. Some cricket as well. Being Pakistani, we are all very passionate about cricket as well.
Yes.
But then, as I said, when you grow, and when I probably started my days in firm, my stress buster was talking to friends, for example. That was now my stress buster is playing with my daughters. I have two daughters, so as I said, it evolves. You need that time, me time, where you can sort of be yourself, relax, and not think about work. So, but that is very important, otherwise you cannot go on. Yeah,
very well answered. All right, sir. So we have like a rapid fire round. It's not like you have to give me one word answers. You can even give me one sentence answers as well. But we have to make it precise. So only then it could be a little more fun. All right. So the first question is there any Karachi habit that has stayed with you even today?
eating.
Eating. Okay. How did your family react when you chose finance or CA as a career?
Happy. They were quite happy.
They were quite happy. During your articleship, did you ever feel like quitting?
No.
No?
Never.
You loved doing
I
what you
always,
did?
I mean, there were always ups and downs, but quitting was never on the table.
All right.
Yes.
All right. What was the biggest struggle in your early career?
My biggest struggle in my early career, I think, was to cope up with the kind of changes, because in when I started off my journey in the firm, you are on a particular job, and then especially I had a mini secondment in Dubai, so you had to move from job to job, right? So
Yes.
that the time efficiency and to keep that was a bit of a challenge initially,
All
to
right.
sort of prioritize what to do when was a bit of a challenge initially, but I coped up with them.
Working in South Asian environments harder or just more interesting?
No, it's interesting. South Asian environments, you interact with a lot of other cultures as well, right? But then this region is quite big, so it's quite interesting and relevant as well because being part of the region, yeah.
All right. What do you remember more, your first boss or your first team?
That's an interesting one. I think my first team.
Your first team. All right. As a leader, how do you balance respect and authority?
They go hand in hand together, I think. Authority, imposing authority without respect would not mean anything. So you need to have authority, but at the same time, respect for the team. The
All right.
authority does not grant you license to be disrespectful.
Yeah, very well said. Very well said. After a high pressure day, what's your simplest way to reset?
I play with my daughters.
Okay. Has your family ever told you to work less?
Always, yes. I think that's a typical, it's something that I hear every day. That when I come back, if I have my mobile or my laptop on, it's always something that now I'm immune to this
Okay.
comment now.
Okay.
Always.
At this stage of life, what does success mean to you? Money, peace of mind, or both?
I think probably like we say in economy, diminishing marginal utility of
Yes.
something, right? Something you get extra. The first chocolate bar you have, so money also has that diminishing when you get your things done. I think it's peace of mind which matters most. After a certain point of time, money matters. Of course, money matters, of course, but after a certain point of time, the incremental money versus peace of mind is always peace of mind for me.
Interesting answer. Very well answered. What's one worry that young professionals often have unnecessarily?
So can you repeat that? Sorry.
What's one worry that young professionals often have unnecessarily?
I think worrying too much about future. We kind of think too much. What will happen? What will happen? You should be in the present, do what you can do best, and then move forward. Future will take its toll, and
You can pave your way over time. For someone aiming for global roles from Karachi or Pakistan, what matters the most?
I think first of all, you need to invest time in working hard. I think as you work hard, there is no reciprocal for working hard. So if you work hard and you are open to moving out and be flexible, sky is the limit.
All right. If you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Don't worry too much. Things will happen.
All right. That was it for the rapid fire round. Very well answered. The answers, all of them were very interesting. All right. So, as we're walking towards the end of the podcast, again, it was truly mesmerizing to be talking to a personality like you. So, any
you for that.
message that you would want to leave for the audience?
Well, I think CA, I would want to talk about the profession. I think CA has given me a lot in my life, and I've seen a lot of friends. It has changed, lot for them. It's one profession which truly is something that changes lives, right? There is always, it's not easy. I would not want to say it's easy, but at the same time, it's not impossible. It's just how committed you are to make a difference. And I think the young professionals today don't get disheartened with some if there is a hiccup or if something doesn't work around. I mean, I started my journey. I was passing all my I had my passing with flying colors throughout. But I also had a bit of I think in my final exams I did not pass in one exam, and when it strikes you for the first time, you think, how can this happen? But I think my advice to them is that these are small hurdles in life, right? Don't worry about it, don't fret about them, just move forward. And then as you move forward, you will probably, when you look back, you see it was never a hurdle, it was just a small test which you cleared. So work hard, because CA has a lot to offer. And don't worry about what people say that AI is going to take over, or this will happen wrong, because there will always be naysayers in the system. This will not work, this will not. So bring a lot of positivity in your thought process and move forward. That's what
All
I
right.
would say.
Very motivational and very moving. All right, sir. So, again, as you're moving towards the end of the podcast, how was your experience today? The overall experience coming back to TSA after such a long time, meeting Sir Tabani, having a podcast. How was the overall experience?
I think it is going to be a memorable experience. Brings a lot of nostalgia, as I said, and I think what I've seen is that some things probably are there to remain, right? For example, when I come to Karachi, I always have this, that I would probably want to meet Tabani Saab, talk about those good old days in Tabanis. So to sum it up, it was a memorable experience, and I really loved it.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time for this podcast. It was a true honor for Tabani's platform, for me and for the audience, I'm sure. So thank you so much for coming. And thank you so very much for watching, everyone. Catch you in the next episode.